All right, let's look at another one that has us do a repeat. Here I've got two networks that they've asked me for 900. I'm also going to show you what is the smallest network we can do in Vlsm. Okay? All right. Start off the exact same way. First thing I'm going to do is, because I know I can use the 0 network, I know my first network ID. So now my question is basically, let me find where 2500 would start. I'm finding where the 7000 would stop, which is going to be where the 2500 starts. You go with me on that? So same thing. Where do I draw the line for 7,000 hosts? Alright, right there. So that is 13 bits again, which is there. Turn this on. So my starting point for the 2500 will be this, which means my subnet mask for the 7000 is what? A slash what? How many bits in the subnet mask now? 19. And I can tell you okay?
Where'd you go, 19?
I need to count, all I want to know is how many ones are in the subnet mask. Remember, I'm just shortcutting this, sort of a shorthand way of notating it, okay? So I have this, 255, 255, these 3 bits, 128 plus 64 plus 32, would actually be this. And my last octet is 0. So this is my new subnet mask for my first network. You with me with that? But I don't want to write this out because I'm lazy, efficient. So there's a shorthand way of doing it. And all I really need to know is how many ones in a row. If I told you start over here and draw out 27 ones, you just draw out 27 ones, then start counting. There's 8, put a dot, there's 8, put a dot, there's 8, put a dot, and I've got 3 left over. So I could just tell you there's 19 bits in the subnet mask. That's what I'm looking for. Because 255 is 8, correct? So there's 8 ones plus 8 ones. 1, 2, 3. 19 ones in the subnet mask. Okay? So it's just a shorthand way of writing it for me to do the /19. Okay? Okay, so now my next network asks me for 2,500 hosts. So we're going to go between 2048 and 4096 now. So I'm moving it over 1 bit. Turn that on. And my new is what? Where are we? 32 plus, really, this is my new magic number, right? If we go back to talking like we were doing before. So 32 plus 16. 48. I can go back up here now, and my new subnet mask up here is a /20. I added 1 bit. tell me. Now, what do we do for 1800? Remember that? 1800 falls between 1024 and 2048. Draw my line again. Turn that bit on and add it to 48. Right? You with me? So this is going to be the start of the next network. And now I'm at a slash, what? Right. Okay? Now where does 900 come in? Five 12 and 1024 goes right there. Moving it over again. I have a new magic number, and I'm adding 4, correct? Sorry. And what's my new subnet mask now? Where am I? Right, /22. D9. Okay. I need to do it again. Except, wait a minute, I'm not moving my line anywhere. Any guess on what I need to do? Let me tell you that the interval hasn't changed. I'm not moving my line. Go back to regular subnetting. If this had been my network ID, and this were my magic number, what would I do to get the next one? Don't think about moving the line. Leave the line alone. Just let go of it. I said I wanted you to create me a whole bunch of networks with 900 hosts on it.
2 to the n minus 2.
Well, yeah, but suppose we already knew this. We had figured this out. We had drawn our line. We knew that our magic number was 4. We could have started making a list, right, of all the network IDs. How would we have done that? I have one network ID. What do I do to get the next one? Say it again? Add 4. Don't make this harder than it has to be. Add 4. All right. 140.58.64.0. If there were 900 from here to here when I added 4 to this, 56 plus 4 is 60, then there's going to be 900 from here to here, isn't there? 60 plus 4 is 64. I didn't move my line, so my subnet mask stays the same. And fill in the chart. Okay? Now what you can do, I need this number, this 64, written over here. Technically what I'm doing is counting up in binary over here. Because right now, I have this. I want to count up in binary, which really means I'm going to have to increment this to a 1 and all of those to a 0. Or you can just look at it and say, how do I write the number 64 over here in binary? Like that. Because this needs to match where you are. Okay? I can ignore it for a second. If I had wanted 5 sets of 900, I could have just add 4, add 4, add 4, add 4, add 4 until I was done with all of those. When I hit my new number, what do I have? And let me go write it over here. Okay? So you could walk away from this for a second and just remember that there's that whole add the magic number for as long as I need to. Okay? Alright, so we took care of both of the 900s. We stayed with the same subnet mask. Now I need to figure out 500. I've got my network ID written up here. We'll get rid of our line. And 500 falls between 256 and 512. Yeah. There. Right? 8, 9 bits, 8, 9 bits. Turn this bit on. Now 64 plus 2 is my next one. And my new subnet mask for the 500 is 23. Sorry, 65.255. Okay. Now, I have been asked for a network with 2 addresses. Why would I need a network with only 2 addresses? Let's look at it this way. We've got a router. Got a router. Off of these routers, I've got a couple of networks hanging off of them. But right here, those routers need to be connected. This interface and this interface must be on the same network, correct? I need an address for there and an address for there. I need 2 addresses. This is where it gets important to take that 2 and add 2 so that I get 4. How do you write 4 in binary? Now here's the sort of the tricky problem. Well, I write 4 in binary by doing right here. It's an exact number. The dividing line is going to go right behind it. Okay? So I'm going to do this. That's going to give me the addresses that I need. You'll see that. Okay? And I'll tell you, first you tell me, what's my new subnet mask?
30.
One of the things you just need to know is the /30 is the smallest you can do in Vlsm. And when you see this network, you know that you're going to do a /30. You'll get to the point where you'll do it over and over again, but you may as well just like, oh yeah, the smallest thing I can do, 2 is a /30. Okay? So if I do that, my magic number becomes 4, right? Turn this bit on. So So I'm going to write my new for the next one. Right? My broadcast, one less than this. How many addresses do I have? How many usable addresses do I have? Here's my network ID. One larger is 1. Here's my broadcast. One less than that is 2. Well, I can use the .1 and the .2. I gave you exactly 2 addresses like you asked for. Network ID. If I want to talk to both of them at the same time, I'll use the .3 down there. Okay? Same thing again. I'm just going to take my magic number and add to that. The exact same thing is going to happen. It stays at /30, and I'm going to get it. Gave you the 2 addresses that you asked for. No waste in that one. And I've taken care of your thousands of hosts, and I still have, I've barely taken a byte out of my address range. We first subnetted because I had that one Class B address. It was going to have 65,000 hosts on it. Well, that was too much for one network, so we subnetted that. And when we started, we would have said, well, I need to be sure I can take care of this big network that has 7,000 hosts on it, and I would have created as many networks as I could get. Do you remember we talked about that I said sometimes you would get where they would tell you, I want 40 hosts, but I want 200 networks, and the 2 numbers wouldn't necessarily jive, wouldn't go together. If I'd have been told that I wanted 7,000 networks, or 7,000 hosts in my network, and where I had that /19, if you take that 2 to the 19, there's your 2 to the n minus 2, 2 to the 19th power minus n, that would tell you how many networks I would have created. And it would have been a bunch. 2 to the 19th is a pretty decent sized number, right? Here, I created 2, 4, 6, 8 networks and took care of your entire enterprise. And I've still got room to go. And I didn't waste. I have room for future growth. I took care of what you wanted. I've even got some room, if you look, you asked me for 7,000. How many did I give you? 8,190. You still got a little bit of room in there. 2,500. We could go all the way up to 4,094. You've still got some room in there. You always want to be sure that in reality that you have room for future growth. I've got it in every single one of them except here. What growth am I going to have? The worst case scenario here is that you come in and you give me, now here what I have is I have another router up here that I'm connected to. So this is the .0 network. This is the .4. All right, put another router. That's fine. Just give you another 2 addresses down here on the end. Okay? If you did that, if you gave me another router, unless this router here is going out to the internet, I'm going to need to redo more than just that. But theoretically, add 2 more and I'm good. Okay? This is way more realistic than classic subnet. I do this way more often then I give you a bunch of networks of equal size.